When you take that road and you just don't want to just fit in, it's a lonely road. It's a lonely road, and you get a lot of haters, man. Like I tell people all the time, man, if I could walk on water, motherfuckers would say because I couldn't swim.
And I remember when I was talking with my father, and he told me, you know how people make diamonds? Under big pressure. If you can handle this pressure, you're gonna become diamond.
Most people will not understand your obsession, your drive, and your determination. Success is a lonely journey. That's just a reality. And most people are not gonna understand why you're so driven, why you're so obsessed. And if you try and make them understand, you're gonna end up frustrated. The best advice I can tell you is, go on the journey by yourself.
Consistency doesn't lie. It doesn't care about how you feel. It's hidden in the boring, and that's why it wins. Just show up every day. You either want it or you don't. If you're not winning, you're not consistent. Consistency wins.
Only risk takers win. By definition, if you are the same as everybody else, if you're not taking a risk over and above what everybody else is taking, by definition, you can't win. If you're doing exactly what everybody else is doing, how can you possibly win? You have to be different to win. You have to take risks.
The only separating factor between you and your goals is believing it's yours already. Time is just an illusion. Past is an illusion. It already happened. The future is an illusion. It hasn't happened. And in the present moment, you can assume all the things you want is yours. And as soon as your brain has complete conviction, as soon as your soul has complete conviction that that's who you are, the result will show up.
Learn to say no and put yourself first. Because right now we need to be focused. We are on the path to embodying our full potential in mind, body, and spirit. And in order to get there, we must be mentally sharp and calculated. We need to play this smart because there's not a lot of margin for error, my friend. And so when your friends ask you to go out and party and drink, say no. When a lousy opportunity falls in your lap and it doesn't really align with what you need to be doing, say no. Learn to say no and do not feel bad, because saying no is prioritizing you, and that is what we need right now. We need to be prioritizing us. So here's your reminder.
If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more.
I wish you the courage to be warm when the world would prefer you be cool. I wish you success sufficient to your needs. I wish you failure to temper that success. I wish you joy in all your days. I wish you sadness so that you may better measure joy. I wish you gladness to overbalance the grief. I wish you humor and a twinkle in your eye. I wish you glory and strength to bear the burdens. I wish you sunshine on your path and storms to season your journey.
In order for something new to come, something old must go. And that old can sometimes mean let go of what you know until now.
Most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You literally have to become someone else. If you keep thinking the same thoughts, keep demonstrating the same behaviors, keep living by the same feelings and emotions, your personal reality is going to stay exactly the same. But if you have new thoughts that lead to new choices, that demonstrate new actions, that create new experiences, that cause you to feel differently, you will begin to walk into a new future.
Sometimes you will have to convince yourself that it's possible, that you can go from zero to hero, from peasant to king, if you change the way that you think. And if you don't know how to change the way that you think, begin to digest new information. Stay away from the haters, stay away from the losers, stay away from the people with weak minds and weak mentalities, and find those people that empower you. Find those people that elevate your spirit and your soul, and understand that your potential, my friend, is limitless. You, my friend, are limitless. but you must believe. And if you can believe, all things are possible. All you have is this moment, so you have to continuously focus on bringing attention to this moment and keep reminding yourself that what decision can I make in this moment that is aligned with the best version of myself, that is aligned with the vision of where I'm trying to get to.
If you look at stories of great men, of great women in history, that story always has a lot of disadvantages that were overcome. There is something in the process of overcoming hardship that creates greatness. Most people quit through that process. If you can survive it, then your story will be a great one.
You got to bet on you. It's so funny that you believe in others. You would bet on others. You would support others. You would be there for others. But when it comes to you, you take a darn back seat. I don't understand it. I'm gonna bet on me.
I needed somebody and they didn't do it. So I decided at that point, I guess, I don't need you. The only person I need is me. And I'll be damned if I'm ever gonna need somebody. I ain't needing somebody. I'll be damned if I'm ever gonna need somebody again.
Don't be afraid of people rejecting. Stick to your guns. That fear, it just withers the soul. It makes what you create just like everything else out there. But when you think, no, I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna mind what's different about me, I'm gonna be bold and confident, those who are trying to follow all the trends don't have impact.
Find out what you're good at. Find out what craft or thing or what are you good at? What you have an aptitude for. Do you like history? Do you like math? Do you like artwork? Do you like music? You find out what you have a natural inclination towards. You find out what you're good at. And then you figure out how to help other people with that thing that you're good at. And once you figure that out, that's purpose. 2 + 2 = 4. So what are you good at? How can you help other people? That's your purpose.
Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. Shake off this notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it. Embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it.
Remember, you guys only have one life on this earth, okay? It's not too late to change everything. Get up, guys. Make today the day.
The more I listen to this, the better my life gets. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. There's no greater waste of time than justifying your actions to people who have a life you don't want.
Build a vision of what you would like to accomplish between now and the end of the year. And then make a written description of that vision. Paint the picture with words. Vision. Vision is going to direct your life if you let it. Use it constructively. See what you want. Don't spend any time thinking of what you don't want. When you get a picture in here, make it big, make it beautiful. You'll be glad you did.
What we feel is what manifests. It's the energy that we put out that we get back. Claim it in your heart right now. Who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? What do you want to give? And what do you want to receive? And ask yourself that. Design your day every single day. You have the power within you to design your life. What you see is a reflection of what you believe. So are we going to say yes to a new belief system now?
Do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. Do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. Don't wait, start right now whether you're ready or not. Just say, I'm going after it, I'm going to get it, and your present circumstances got nothing to do with where you're going.
You've got to accept yourself for what you've done wrong. Do your best, and also find some difficult to do, because that gets away a lot of the anxiety that you carry around in your body. Difficult things make regular life less difficult.
Anything is possible here that you're only limited by your imagination. Now, it's not going to be handed to you. You have to find your way through. And there will be times that you're going to hit dead ends, but you have to pick yourself back up. You have to be smart, You have to calculate another route, and then you gotta keep moving forward.
At some point, everything's gonna go south on you. Everything's gonna go south, and you're gonna say, this is it. This is how I end. Now you can either accept that, or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin. You do the math, you solve one problem, then you solve the next one.
And it doesn't matter how you get knocked down in life, because that's gonna happen. All that matters is that you gotta get up.
Work hard. Be somebody. Be something more than what you see in the mirror. Let the world be your mirror. Don't let them judge you, because the mirror can't judge you. You judge what you see in it.
There's a great Chinese expression, a great old proverb. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
Just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. You don't have to live anybody else's story. Sometimes people make it seem like you have to have certain prerequisites or a crazy life story in order to be successful in this world. But the truth is, you really don't. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack. All you need to have is an undying passion for what you do and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful.
There's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him. And that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
You're not allowed to give excuses, because excuses are a sign of weakness. We give no excuses when we fail. Failure is just fertilizer to help us grow as a team.
Guys, in life, winning isn't everything, but training to win is. Having the will to win, that is everything. Whether you win or not, you're gonna fail. You gotta get back up and try it again. But if you don't have the will to win, and you don't train to win, that's where you're really missing the mark, guys.
You ever had a gut feeling that maybe you were meant for more?
What if you were everything you could be? Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
We're all trying to improve ourselves. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect now, I never will be. You're not, and you never will be, but you're better than you were yesterday, and you're gonna be better tomorrow.
You know, the greatest lesson my mother ever taught me, when I was a kid, whatever I started, I had to finish it. Whether I got in the midst of something and didn't care for a coach, whether I got in the midst of an organization and didn't care for a leader, my mother would never let me start something and stop, because she would always say, the person that you will become by enduring the process is far more important than the person that you have to deal with in the midst of the process.
Your present or past results have absolutely nothing to do with what's going to happen from this point forward. You see, I kept thinking, well, gee, I'm such a mess up. I've done everything wrong up till now. I'm 26, I'm broke, I'm not happy. Everything was wrong. That's all in the past. Every moment is a new moment.
Success is a strange thing. Presumably we want success because we think a more successful life will bring us more happiness, meaning, and fulfillment. Here's the problem. We sacrifice the thing we want, happiness, for the thing which is supposed to get it, success. Failure can make you miserable, but I'm not sure that success will make you happy. I am only worthy of love, acceptance, and belonging if I succeed. Now, powered by internal feelings of insufficiency, this person is driven to achieve many things. They're prepared to outwork, outhustle, and outsuffer everyone else because they're not just running toward a life they want, they're running away from a life that they fear. Success and progress ameliorates the feelings of insufficiency. Therefore, success and progress have become prioritized above everything else.
Character is at the core of a person, something they can't control, something that comes from deep within, and it causes people to have patterns of behavior. And you want to find people who have a strong character to associate with, as opposed to a weak character. And what a strong character is people who are adaptable, who are fluid, who can admit that they are wrong, who can learn from their experience, who can take criticism. So I want you to focus not on people's charming exterior, instead focus on that deep inner quality, that core, that character, because that's who they really are. Your character is creating what happens to you in life. There's the famous quote of the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus, "Character is fate."
As I continue to experience life and find myself, I realize that hope isn't what I thought it was. Through a lot of sorrow, it's actually been redefined for me. And I ask myself the question, what if my pain is actually my hope?
So many of us are at war with ourselves within. We have that inner conflict because we're trying to portray this image that is, acceptable in the world around us, that we think is acceptable, instead of just staying true to you. And yes, when you stay true to yourself, people are gonna look at you a certain way. People are gonna try to knock you off your path. There's gonna be a lot of external things that, try to sway you this way or that way, but you gotta stay true to you.
Here's my best advice. Welcome all experiences. You never know which one is gonna turn everything on. And the best advice I can give you is, if I can do it, you can do it. No matter where you are, where you come from. Color doesn't matter, religion doesn't matter, where you grew up doesn't matter, circumstances don't matter. I'm telling you, if you'll make the promise of the future clear for yourself, the things you want, the places you want to go, the things you want to have, the person you want to become, the skills you want, the homes you want, the future you want, the friends you want, all of the values of life that you could possibly want. If you'll make that clear, make those lists, and be serious about it, I promise you it's an easy price to pay. Anybody can pay it.
Do everything that you feel, even if you are told that it's the wrong thing.
Most of you are your own biggest hater. Most of you sit there and you don't go because you're afraid to go because of what people might say. It's not what they actually said. It's what you're imagining in your brain, what people might say if you do this or if you do that. And guess what? That makes you your own biggest obstacle that you need to overcome to even go. So when people sit here and they don't go because they're afraid of the opinions of others, they're actually afraid of the made-up opinions that they've made up. And that's pretty f***ed up if you really break that down.
We all have a voice here inside that it tells us all the time, it tells us the truth, and it tells us sometimes what we don't want to hear. You hear too much what the outside world said, you're gonna be one of them very soon.
Doesn't matter what people think of you or say about you. Your focus should not be on what people are saying. Your focus should not be on people's opinions. Your focus should be on changing yourself. Your focus should be on having positive opinions about yourself. No matter what you do, no matter who you are, there are always going to be people that will try to tear you down. There's always going to be people that talk down on you. So the point of building a healthy self-image isn't to win people over. It's to win yourself over, because remember, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
Discipline your thoughts. Stop seeking too much. Don't go into the past. Don't go into the future. Be in the present. Why? Because only then it's possible that the mind is free, the capacity is free, and now you're completely immersed into whatever you are doing. And this means you have arrived. You have arrived. That's it.
Life isn't fair. It shouldn't be fair. It's a trial ground, it's a testing ground. It's built to make us harder, to test us, to drive us. Mentality is the only thing that gets us through life. I was an underdog. We are all underdogs in life. Even the baddest person in the world should think that way. So you should always have a I've never arrived mentality. And the can't hurt me mentality is no matter where you come from, the sewer or wherever you think you're from. When I got out of the sewer, I got to the road and looked around and said, can't hurt me.
At some point, you have to grow up and you have to be an adult. If your life is going to change, you are going to have to be the one to change it. You can't blame anyone else anymore. That blaming is now gone. Your life is where it is because you created your life to be where it is. It's no one else's fault but your own. If you want to keep playing the victim, you can go for it, but it's going to cost you the life that you want.
The most difficult roads lead to the most beautiful destination. And so although it's painful and confusing,
we keep walking.
What's that thing for you? That thing you've been wanting to do for a while now? Have you died? No? Well, I'm just here with a friendly reminder that nobody will do it for you. If you're waiting for others to share the same convictions as you before you act on it, you'll be waiting for a very long time. Time that will render your desires to act on your dreams useless if you keep putting it off. Stop waiting on other people or the perfect conditions in order to start something. That passion you want to pursue, the longer you think about it without doing, the more you get used to inaction. And the more you get used to inaction, the easier it is for the dream you once had to slip out of your eyes. So sacrifice for what you want before what you want becomes a sacrifice.
How many Mondays have you told yourself that you were going to start? How many years have you made the same resolutions that you failed to keep? How many times have you had the conversation where you're saying, for real this time I mean it. No, seriously, I mean it. We're doing it this time. How many times have you told yourself that? My guess is a lot. What makes you think, haven't you told yourself this over and over and over again? You have to understand that if you are to make a change in your life, you have to develop the ability to adhere to a plan.
Resistance is that inner force that we all have, that when we go to do anything, particularly if it's meaningful, we have that voice inside our head that says, you're not good enough to do this. You can't do this. Resistance is that voice inside our head that tells us we're not good enough, do not proceed. Resistance will never be louder for you than when you're putting something out into the world. And to take that one step further, it will never be louder than when you're putting something out into the world that you really care about.
A clear horizon, nothing to worry about on your plate, only things that are creative and not destructive. Forward, the road is clear ahead, and now you're going to create something, and that's as happy as I would ever want to be.
Everything is going to be okay. What seems scary right now will make sense soon. You have the power to change, but it can't be changed from a place of fear. It has to be changed from a place of love and belief. So, don't be scared anymore.
Most people know what they need to do, but very few actually do it. We spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to get better and way less time actually doing the work. It all comes down to how much you want it. Most people know what they want, but very few people want it bad enough to actually do something about it. So on the days where you don't feel like showing up, are you the kind of person to push past and keep going, or are you the one looking for an excuse to take a break?
And the last thing I think about is like, why not? Like, why not you? Like, why can't you achieve all the things that are in your heart and your mind? Why can't you, break that generational curse? Why can't you get up and start taking those steps? You know what I mean? Why? Like, what's stopping me? And when you really get to the root of what's stopping you, the only thing that is truly stopping you is you, and you have the power to take that stand and to put one foot in front of the other, take it day by day, step by step, and become the person that God made you to be.
You're not what your parents tell you you are. You're not what your friends tell you are. In fact, you're not even what you tell yourself you are, because you don't even truly understand your limitless potential. So when you live in a situation where you're limited by the opinions and the insecurities and the projections of other people, what you're doing is you're limiting your potential and your growth for self-development. And the first part is understanding that you can become whoever you want to become.
A mystery to yourself. You don't know who you are. You have patterns of behavior and you're not even understanding that. You don't know why you're angry. You think you're angry because that person said something mean to you or did something wrong. But in fact, your anger probably stems from things from deep, deep within from your childhood. And you're not reacting to that person, but to actually your parents and what they didn't give you. The origin of wisdom, according to the Greeks, was know thyself. And I believe that very firmly, that knowledge about who you are is an end in itself and will help you in so many ways become that human being that I think we all have the potential to become.
list all the things that you aren't willing to give up for the dreams that you have. And that is what the person who will beat you is willing to give up.
You might slip and fall in the process of trying to achieve your goals, but you need to remember that it's all part of the journey.
You see, many people say they want to be great, but they're not willing to pay the price of greatness. Are you willing to do what most people are not willing to do? Are you willing to put in the work even on holidays? Are you willing to work to perfect your craft even on weekends? Are you willing to study and get better and grow even on the nights you're invited to those parties? Are you willing to pay the price of greatness? Are you willing to pay that entry fee, the cost at the door of what it takes to be great? You don't just stumble upon greatness. You pay the price day by day, moment by moment.
Winning didn't know my name. Winning doesn't know who the hell you are. You know, winning keeps its hands in its pocket. It's going to keep its hands in its pockets. You know why? Because it doesn't want to point to anybody who isn't worthy. In order to see winning in all its glory, it wants to see you suffer. It wants to know what you're made of.
You stay in environments where people don't recognize the value of you, you will shrink your gift to the size of what they can stand. And that's what causes anxiety and depression and stress, because you have had to shrink into a form where people can tolerate you.
I don't wait for the perfect moment. Usually the perfect moment is now. The right time to tell somebody that you love them when you feel it is right now. The right time to make that contact, right now. So I want to challenge you today. That call you need to make it now. That email you need to send it now. That chapter you need to write, that copy, that funnel, do it now. I love knocking things off the list because that creates momentum. And the more you do this, ironically, you will develop confidence in yourself to be able to attack things in the moment.
Not just about you. It's not just about whatever you're going to get. It's about the example that you're setting for every single person around you. It's the example in your household. It's the example in your neighborhood. It's the example in your community. And if we all took that seriously, the world wouldn't look the way that it looks. You have an obligation to extract the potential that is within you. You were given gifts. You were given a purpose. You may not know what they are yet, but it is your duty to figure out what they are. It is your duty to become the best possible version of yourself.
And you figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing, and you manifest. Most of these people end up doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become. It's real.
Now is the only time that action can occur. The present moment is the only time in which we can do anything. So if not now, when? If I want to do something, now is the perfect time to do it because it's literally the only time anything can be done. Poised for action in the present moment. This is the moment that you've been waiting for. Your whole life has actually conspired to bring you to this exact point. Now is the time to act.
You're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking. And if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years, you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
The next 3 months and donate that time to your future self. Commit to something that you're going to thank yourself for doing a year from today. Just accept the fact right now that the next 90 days of your life do not belong to the current version of yourself. It belongs to the future version of yourself, because all it takes is 3 months of consistent action to set yourself up for a successful year. This time next year, you don't want to look back and say to yourself, damn, I wish I spent my time doing this. So how are you going to spend the next 3 months? Are you going to set yourself up for success, or is it just going to be another year?
You have it in you if you choose to keep going. Because if you have that energy today, then why can't you have it tomorrow? And why can't you have it the next day? And why can't you have it the day after that? One foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. Just like for you on your journey in life, that's sometimes what it feels like. You feel like you have nothing left in the tank, but sometimes you just connect to something, and that something causes you to take just one more step.
Because every day is a battle. Every day is a battle because your mind wants to choose the path of least resistance. Every day. But you don't become better by ever doing that. You become normal. And I don't want to be normal.
Everything in your life right now, everything you have, everything you do not have right now, are all results of your past actions. And that's hard to accept for a lot of us. But until you accept that, you will not be able to move forward. And when you do accept that, you take ownership and control over your life.
Short-term pleasure equals long-term pain. And short-term pain equals long-term pleasure. Everything you're looking for is on the other side of short-term suffering. And everything you don't want is on the other side of avoiding that suffering.
It's many sprints inside a marathon of life where the winning line, finish line, is constantly changing. It's constantly moving. It's constantly evolving.
Sadness comes from a perceived lack of options. It's why it feels like hopelessness. You don't know what to do. Anxiety comes from many options, but no priorities. And you solve that by making a decision. And you solve sadness by figuring out what to do, which means that it's something that you can solve through knowledge.
So there's only two things that control the quality of your life. Please jot them down. For the rest of your life, you want to remember. The quality of my life is controlled by two things: meaning and emotion. Meaning and emotion. The meaning you give to things controls the emotion that you feel.
Develop a sense of urgency. Get the reputation as the person who does things fast. Develop a reputation for speed and dependability, and your future will just open up in front of you. We're working fast, a sense of urgency. Act now, do it now, do it now, do it now. Most people just sort of shuffle through life. You know, they get to it when they feel like it. But all the excellent people, all the high performers have a sense of urgency.
Things never feel like they're changing in the moment. Day by day, minute by minute, it's easy to feel like you're making no progress. So you get frustrated and feel like you're not doing enough. But the reality is, everything is compounding. The day things feel different doesn't happen overnight. The miles you have to overcome aren't conquered in one step, so just keep moving.
All of us walk around with stories about our lives. Why choices were made, why things went wrong. Stories are the way we make sense of our lives. But what happens when the stories we tell are misleading or incomplete or just wrong? Well, instead of providing clarity, these stories keep us stuck. The way we narrate our lives shapes what they become. We talk so much in our culture about getting to know ourselves, but part of getting to know yourself is to unknow yourself, to let go of the one version of the story you've been telling yourself so that you can live your life and not the story that you've been telling yourself about your life. What would happen if you looked at your story and wrote it from another person's point of view? What would you see now from this wider perspective?
Just keep on going down that path of alignment, that path of truth, that path of love and authenticity and gratitude. Keep going down that path, you know, because that's the path where you will find yourself.
Once you understand that you can control the future of your life, it gives you the single most powerful emotion that you can feel, hope. And most people live in a state of quiet desperation. They can't pay their bills. They don't feel healthy. They wake up and they're anxious. So why are these things taking place? And if you can address that and understand that if you want to feel different, you must believe that that which you want is already yours and that time-space continuum just has to catch up.
You think you have to become something to become someone. I'm telling you right now, you already were created as someone, a special someone at that. You know the statistics of you being you. But yet, we're sitting here thinking that we have to become something to be great. For a lot of us in here, our next level is not upward. It's going inward.
Nobody is going to save you.
Nobody is going to make it easy for you. Nobody can live your life for you, endure your pain for you, choose your struggles for you. Nobody can experience the growth that comes from loss for you. Nobody can build your confidence through 1,000 tiny failures for you. Nobody can lie awake crying about some inconsolable loss that hurts so much it creates a bottomless pit of emptiness for you. Nobody can learn the lessons for you. You get to do that. You have the honor and privilege to suffer and overcome that suffering, only to suffer and overcome again and again and again. This is called being alive.
Don't let yourself slip away. Come back to the moment. Set your intention. And go do what you need to do.
I think we have to clearly define what optimism is. Optimism is the undying belief that the future is bright, but it allows for reality to exist. And I think complacency has no room to exist in blind positivity, or as we're calling it, sort of blind optimism. So for example, we can be in darkness, we can be in difficulty, and we can be in struggle. And the optimist says, look, these are hard times, and I do not know how long we are going to be in these hard times, but what is necessary is for us to come together, work hard, take care of each other, and I am confident that we will get through this and come out of this stronger than we went in. That's what optimism sounds like.
It's hard to believe things that you can't see. It's hard to believe these things. But if you can actually sit there and have a conversation with yourself and believe that all things are possible, then everything is possible. Because like I said, it all starts with the mind, and the mind is the controlling factor of everything. The mind is like the steering wheel of your life. And if you can't take control of your mind, somebody else will control it for you.
Edit your life. What's most important to you? When you do that exercise with yourself, things become clear rather quickly. Say, I want to be the best, so I want to do this, so I want to do that. And if things in your life don't line up with that, get rid of that. It's not important.
I think that it's always the toughest times in your life that define who you are, much more so than the easiest times or the best times. So failures are typically some of the hardest times of your life. So when I look back and I see all sort of the pivotal moments in my life, it was always the struggle. It was always the failure that motivated me, not the loveliness of success.
One day at a time, you're gonna say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And you do those things. And you wake up the next day and you say, I'm still in this shitty situation. I don't have any confidence. I don't feel good. But I did do what I was supposed to do yesterday. And that's where it starts. It starts this little bitty win that is seemingly insignificant. And then you go around the second day and you say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And you do those things. So you're doing these things day in and day out. And day in and day out. And eventually those things that on the first day were so f***ing hard for you are now just part of who you are. And not only are they part of who you are, you feel great about who you're becoming.
Stop thinking too much. Don't go into the past. Don't go into the future. Be in the present, because only then it's possible that the mind is free, capacity is free, and now you're completely immersed into whatever you are doing. And this means you have arrived. You have arrived.
You have to align with what's most important to you, what you really believe in, what's meaningful for you. That if you settle for something less than that, while you might have to do it because you have to pay your bills, you can't ever give up pursuing what's going to make you feel most alive. Because ultimately, I really believe probably the most sacred thing in our lives that we can give another human being besides our love is our labor.
But when nobody's watching, what are you doing? And so if success today was your boss, and success was watching you over the last 7 days with the sound off, and there was a video camera following you around it, is success impressed with you? Is success saying, I will see you soon, my friend? Or what if success was watching you, they go, wow, the actions sure don't match up to the words. Because at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is, what we do produces results, not what we say. What we do ultimately dictates the results in our life.
So think about how you feel when somebody breaks that contract, when breaks that commitment to you. Everything's done. Handshake, everything's negotiated, all the way it's done, it's over with. And they say they're not going to do it. You should be more pissed off with breaking a commitment to yourself. And people do it all the time. People do it all the time.
One of the best quotes I've ever heard on this subject is from Rumi. He said, "Yesterday, I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today, I'm wise, so I'm changing myself."
Most people aren't happy, bro. Most people spend a third of their life working at a job they don't like so they can make not enough money, in a relationship that they don't want to be in, doing things that they don't want to do. Most people have an idea of who they want to be, but they're not doing a single thing about it. So if that's not the outcome that you want, why do you do the exact same things that they do? If you want different, then you're gonna have to be different. And being different comes with its own set of consequences. People aren't gonna understand you. You're gonna miss parties. You're not gonna have as much fun according to the world. You're gonna have to say no to yourself a lot of the time. You're either gonna have to face the consequences of being different now or wishing you were different later.
When the winter comes, make this note. Just hang on. You know, the winter cannot last forever. There's never been a double winter. Some are difficult and some are easier. There's never been a double night. The night only lasts for a few hours, and then the day finally dawns and the shadows flee away.
Fear is always about that which does not exist. You cannot fight, or you cannot overcome that which does not exist.
You want to know what true courage is? True courage is taking the test. True courage is finding out what you can or can't do. You can't keep sweeping what's important aside for another day, because the honest truth is you aren't promised another day. It takes courage to put yourself on the fringe of failure just to determine whether or not you will succeed.
Two paths in life. This is the path I chose a long time ago. It's the lonely road. You're gonna feel alone all the time. You can have team around, you can have mentors. Trust me, you'll feel alone. You're gonna wake up earlier than everybody else, you're gonna go to bed later. Why do I tell you that? That way when these things are happening, you'll know, oh, these are signs I'm on the right road. Most everybody else will do this. The crowded road. It's well lit, there's navigational equipment, there's directions, really good roads. The lonely road, no navigational equipment most of the time. It's dark, it's not well lit. There's a huge ups and downs, massive turns. Roadkill along the side of other people who quit on their dreams. Do the thing everybody else does. Listen to the haters. All the stuff they tell you. What's so bad about where you are? It's okay. Any of that sound familiar? That's all the lonely road stuff. You're on the right road. Don't yield.
Believing in your future more than you're believing in your past. Stop romancing your past. Start romancing your future. Stop telling the story of your past. Start telling the story of your future. Stop believing in your past. Start believing in the future. That process is an unlearning and a relearning process. It's literally breaking the habit of being yourself and reinventing a new self.
I want you to know that it's okay to leave your past behind you. Yes, you've had successes and failures. You've had difficult things and wonderful things happen. You've had things that you've learned and experienced that have brought you to this point right here, right now. And some of those things you had no control over. Some of those events in your past were completely outside of your control. But you and only you control what meaning and impact those things are going to have for you from this point forward. You get to decide.
If we want to become a better version of ourselves, we have to do what heroes do. And what heroes do is they see something that they can't do, they accept that they can't do it, and they become the person who can do it.
If you tell yourself the truth, and the truth is, I'm not happy with where I'm at. That's the truth. The truth is, I can do more. The truth is, I can be in better shape. The truth is, I can work harder than I'm working right now. The truth is, I can do more for my family. The truth is, I can do much better than I'm doing right now. And if that's the real truth, if that's what you believe, if you believe that to be the truth, you won't have to find more discipline. Discipline will find you. It will wake you up in the morning.
Anybody can sit at home and hypothesize about what they could have done successfully. It's easy to hypothesize about the success you could have had because it's safe. It's safe to do when you're not standing in front of the fire, but there's no receipt that proves your success. That's why it's courageous to take on the challenge. And if you are taking on the challenge right now, that right there is a prime example of courage, because you're being willing to put yourself out there in the name of success, in the name of becoming a greater version of yourself. That's true courage. You're out there actively pursuing it. You are the definition of courage.
Push yourself to that point where you feel that thought is coming back. It's time to rest. And when the mind says it's time to rest, that's the point to keep going. That is that threshold which is going to make the difference afterwards. So discovering your limits on the one side is the first thing, because discovering your limits means you have a vision about what you can do, and at the same time the limit is showing you what you cannot do.
We're all writing a book. What's your book look like? Your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book?
It is also to condition myself to a certain vibe. That vibe is, I don't know what this life is going to bring, but there is no alternative. Then when the challenge comes, when life is getting hard, there is no alternative for me than to just keep going.
Always believe in yourself. Always be yourself. And always be grateful.
If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you you can't do something. I'll repeat that. If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you you can't do something, not even yourself.
You need to work on yourself. If you just try to be pampered, and if you're trying to be soft, and if you're trying to be the victim and all stuff, you're not gonna go anywhere. We need to get stronger. We need to get tougher. We need to not be afraid of failure. We got to go into the work. We got to face adversity. Adversity breeds character. There's strength. We have to be willing to go through hardship, through suffering, through pain, through crying periods, all of that stuff. Don't shy away from any of that, because it just makes you stronger.
There will be days when you give every ounce of yourself, every ounce of your soul, blood, sweat, and tears, early mornings and late nights, and not see any result from all of your hard work. And the most difficult part of all of that is knowing you have to show up the next day and do it all over again. And you may not see the result immediately. It may not come next week. But believing that eventually the result will come is what makes a champion.
There's going to be days where you don't feel like showing up. There's going to be days where you're paralyzed by self-doubt, and days where the distance between where you are and where you want to be is overwhelming. I'm here to tell you that the only way to keep inching forward when those days happen is to be committed to the process. Because the ones who stay consistent, whether they feel like it or not, are the ones who see the results, not the ones who have conditional commitments on their goals. Keep going.
I think when you feel stuck or dissatisfied in your life, it's a signal. And it's not a signal that your life is broken. It's a signal that one of your most basic needs are not being met. Your need for exploration. And your soul needs exploration and growth. And the only way you'll get it is by forcing yourself to be uncomfortable.
Why is life so hard? Life is never easy. If it's easy, it would be boring. Life should be hard. Embrace the hardness of life. Because through those hardships, you're learning, you're molding, and you're becoming a person. So, life should be hard. When you accept that life should be hard, then nothing is hard. Everything is easy. Because everything is a lesson that you can learn something from. Every day is a new day to learn something new. So what are you going to learn today?
Sometimes growing and breaking feel the same. I think that sometimes growing and breaking are the same thing. And here's something to keep in mind. In this uncomfortable season of growth, you are not the one that's breaking. What's breaking is everything that isn't you. And sometimes that hurts.
Sometimes you have to go through that adversity and that challenge and that setback to activate the passion and the drive. You know, sometimes it takes the sting of defeat. Sometimes it takes the sting of heartbreak to activate something within you that was needed for you to start moving in the direction that you're meant to move, to get to where you need to be.
The right path is often going to be the hard one. It's going to be the one that requires you to believe in something with no guarantees. The one that asks you to let go of all control and walk forward in blind faith. But you know you're not walking blindly because you can see it. You can feel that there's no other choice but this. Everything you've been through has prepared you for this moment. Lean into it. Trust it. You're ready.
You know, you have a decision to make. Am I going to stay right here? Am I going to live my life and be happy? Which, by the way, if that's what you want, there's no judgment. But what I'm saying to you is if you're that ambitious now and you don't keep moving, you're going to feel bad about staying in the same spot. So it's important that we set bigger goals and that we continue to progress through life because we have to have a purpose, we have to have a drive, and the reality is our pursuit of a bigger goal produces a lot of good for people outside of ourselves. So what gifts are you suppressing by staying in that place and being content where you are? How many lives changed? How many new ideas? How much good is now being kept in your jar because you've decided to stay right where you are? That's something to think about.
Now stay after it. If you're maybe feeling down or you're not feeling as motivated, that's where your discipline has to really kick in because the motivation's not always there. The discipline, that's what's got to be your backbone for progress. Even if you don't want to do it or you're not feeling motivated to do it, the discipline will keep you, on that steady upward slope.
Each and every day, I'm trying to be the best I can be in that day. I'm trying to maximize that day, just that day. And I think if we all can shift into focusing on the small, integral steps that go into the big changes, that's when we'll see the most growth and the most evolution in our lives.